Hello, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button, and I'm here with Junk Journal July, day 10. Let me move some bits out of the way. Thread. Flick through. Now I've done this page, and I've done it because it was going to take a long time, and I'm very wary that it would be like well over an hour, and I don't know how many people want to watch an hour's worth of video, or if they actually want to see the end product and a talk through of what's been done. So this is kind of what I'm doing. I might do some craft with me's if I think it's not going to take too long, because basically I've done a lot of stitching on this. Done a lot of stitching on the book and a lot of stitching on this tag. So I don't know if you can see. So this is an element, a picture from a book, an embroidery book, and so is this, and you can see I've stitched onto it, and I got them from my cross stitch box on my ephemera shelves in my little craft room cum craft store at home. So I just cut more than one book here of things from embroidery books, and like it's really lovely bits. Like the patterns are just as nice as the photographs and would make really interesting, you know, like make an interesting backdrop or something, or folded up and put in a pocket, you know, like there's all kinds of things that I can do with that. And the grid paper's nice as well, actually. So that's where I got the elements from. The background is cotton reels, and I have a thing about cotton reels, but the background came from these tissues. It's just the same. And like I said, I have a thing about cotton reels. I have masses of them. I have jars and jars and jars of cotton reels. And these are nearly finished. And what I'll do when they're finished is I'll make a snippet roll. So I'll get a long strip of material and just sew bits and pieces onto it. Or I might put I've got one that's for the Vintage Button, actually. I'll do a after July's over, I'll talk more about my slow stitching. I am going to show you some bits today, but I will do a snippet roll video, because I think slow stitching and junk journaling lend themselves to one another. You know, this is an example of that, and the things that Meg has done on hers. And there's Roxy, is it Roxy's by Creations, but you know, the Roxy ones, Rachel by Roxy Creations, I think that's what it's called, and she often has like stitchery things involved in her journals, and I think it's really nice. And I haven't done it before. I'm a hand sewer. My mum was trained as a machinist and a pattern cutter, and so she's always had a machine. She still does. She's 76 and still will sew things on her sewing machine. So, but I'm not. I was bought a sewing machine. I had one of those little petite ones that was in a case when I was little. I know how to use one. I just don't get on with it. I don't find it something that relaxes me. But there you go. That's the page. So I used other elements that were from previous pages, like carried on with a scraps theme really. The butterflies that I cut out of a napkin, in case you didn't see the other day. And so started life as a napkin from Tesco. Get 36 butterflies on one napkin. 20 napkins in a pack for £1.50. You do the maths. Stick them on various things to sort of back them, but that was just on a piece of book page, big coffee table book page, I cut half of them out, and I'm still using them. I've put them in my small butterflies tin, so there's all kinds of butterflies from printables and from books and stuff. So yeah, so I took butterflies out of that tin and add 3 on. Posca penned them to just make them look different. Might have gone over the top. I think this one I've gone over the top on, but it's part of the process. Half the fun. So that's my page, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. So I thought I'd show you just a few bits and pieces that's my slow stitching stuff that I literally just grabbed. Behind me I've got a big picture frame that's got some string across, and I peg things onto the picture frame, and so some of these things have come from my sewing box and some have come from that. So like badges, this is quite precious to me because I made this for my daughter when she started primary school. Every December they light up the Christmas tree and the decorations, and it's the beginning of the Christmas season for the school. So she would have this on her bag or on her coat, and she has a big felt Santa hat that's got gingerbread men on it. I'll find that. I might do a Christmas in July, so I'll add that to that video. So yeah, that's really precious, and all it is some fabric from Fat Quarters cut into the shape of holly leaves and the berries, and whip stitched onto felt to stabilize it, but also to give it some structure, and it adds to the look as well. And then it's just a safety pin whip stitched onto the back, and you can see you can see how used it is because it's all bent up. It's been washed a few times in the washing machine. So there's that. On a theme for my daughter, so I also made badges. These felt flowers. So this is material that's quite stiff. It's from a sample book for blinds. I got a massive sample book. There used to be a blind shop around the corner from where we used to live in Cambridge. It closed down, and I got 2 or 3 big wide sample books of blind material, and I've made all kinds of things. So for this birthday party that I'm going to talk about now, I made bunting and like a sign that said happy birthday, all sort of sewn and stamped. So that's just a stamp that you would use in your junk journaling. But I made a fabric flower and a butterfly, same type of thing. I've got like little cars and camper vans and all kinds. I've made badges. This is from a sample book, and a bit of ribbon and a button, and the waves were sort of straight across the page, and I sort of cut them out and then ruffled them to make the flower, and then it's just got a brooch finding on the back. Little Russian doll again. That's not got anything on the back, but I would make bobbles, so hair elastics, just sew a couple of these onto a hair elastic and it would be like a fun bobble. They would go on the end of her laces on her trainers and boots and stuff, so that she wouldn't be able to pull the laces out. All kinds of things I've used like these things for. Easter bonnets, just cover a baseball cap in them to make an Easter bonnet. So she had a birthday party. I think this was her 6th birthday party. We didn't have a lot of money, and she wanted a nice birthday party, so we had it at home, and we did that, nice little sandwiches and stuff. And then the party bags, I made them out of, this is an old duvet, and then that's just some plain blue cotton. This is just a ribbon that said love on it, that's actually a Christmas ribbon, but I just use that as like the little label. Another stamped butterfly and buttons on the 4 corners with the ribbons attached to the bag. I didn't have enough of one type of ribbon, so I just cut lengths, as many lengths as I could in the different colours. But it kind of added to the effect, and I had mums asking me would I do it for their kids' birthdays, and I said no, because they wouldn't pay me how much time it took me to do it. And it would be special for my daughter if I did it. So there was that, and then these are my strawberries, and we will do a video on how to make a strawberry because it's quite easy and they're quite effective. This one's I've decorated them in different ways, but this is the original one. So some felt flowers just whip stitched on. I don't know where I got the felt flowers from. That's a stamped butterfly onto a bit of calf Kidston material. Calf Kidston was all the rage when I made this, so this is about 14 years old, I'd say. Felt leaves on the top. It's not even proper felt. I remember this is from the pound shops, like the dollar store or whatever. It's cleaning cloths, and so's the pale pink stuff as well, and some vintage buttons, and of course vintage button label. So it's been around for a long time, the concept of the vintage button. I've just not really done anything formal with it. So then this is a needle book. I've got lots of needle books, but this is of the similar time as this. Bits of sari silk, one of those stamped butterflies, but actually I've doubled it up so it kind of flutters. It's on like a satin, well no, a suede material. A shell ring as a closure. This is a stamped image of a pin. It's got the sari silk throughout and just bits of random felt. That's corduroy, denim as well. Bit of canvas and more butterflies and a stamp. So if you stamp onto fabric with like your archival ink, you can heat set it with your iron, or if you leave it to cure for quite a while, like for a few weeks, it won't run and you can wash them. So this is a bit closer to now, and oh, I've got like that as well, which used to be a bag, and I use this in my thumbnails. Again, stamped the vintage button, and I blanket stitched up the sides of the bag, and they held little bits of jewellery that I had at a craft sale. And these are my buttons, not buttons, bugs, all stamped onto a fabric sample. There's spiders and bees that I've started, and the idea is that I would do it and then I'll snip it off and use it for something. I didn't get very far, and I will join it. It's back in my sewing box, so it'll come back out again. But there's a butterfly, a nearly finished ladybug, and the beginnings of a beetle. And it's literally just, that's just like ordinary cotton, sewing cotton. Very simple line stitches, no fancy stitches with that. Again, this is a bee that's made in a similar vein, but I just did it on yellow material. This is again with the lined fabric. Little gingerbread man whip stitched onto some red felt. Cut out stamped holly leaves out of the same type of material and hot glued it to a peg. And this is over 10 years old, so it's lasted, and it'll go on my little frame, and I've got some that I use for Christmas cards and stuff at Christmas time. So that's it really. That's thread. Well, that's also a little bit about the vintage button. I will be back tomorrow. I'm enjoying making these videos. I'm enjoying the learning curve, trying to not let it get me down. I do things to this phone that's filming and it changes the orientation. Never seems to be the same thing. I think it's the way this housing thing, I think this is what needs to change. I'm going to get my husband to look at it at the weekend so that I don't have to fight it. But yeah, so if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. Press that like button, press that little bell that tells you when you'll be notified when I do something. Do all those YouTubey things that help my little channel grow. I'm really grateful for the people that I've got on board, and I look forward to spending more crafty time with you. Let me know in the comments, is there anything that you want to see after Junk Journal July? Are you happy with these walkthroughs, or do you want like an hour plus video of me fiddling around? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I like those videos and sometimes I don't have patience for it. So I think that there needs to be a mix, doesn't there? We will get there. I feel like I'm getting there. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.